You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. In real estate, that's just not a saying, it's a fact. Buyers aren't just browsing, they are judging. 48 hours. That's how long the average buyer takes to decide if your house is a no. And honestly, most buyers decide in the first 10 seconds, sometimes before they even step inside. They're already calculating the repair bill or thinking, let's just keep driving. Today, I'm giving you the keys to a faster, more profitable sale. These are the 5 deal breakers that makes buyers run for the hills and the simple fixes that turned them into offers. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Petena Thomas, your go-to realtor in the Washington, D.C. metro area. I live and work in Montgomery County, Maryland. So let's get into today's video. All right, first thing, declutter and depersonalize. So buyers aren't nosy, they're imaginative. So they walk in wanting to picture their couch by the fireplace, not your souvenir shelf or wall of family photos. The clutter doesn't show character. It steals the space and it shrinks the room. And all those personal touches, well, they make people feel like guests in your story rather than letting them imagine their own. Here's the rule. You pack like you are moving next week because hopefully you are. You want to box up every trinket and photo. You want to clear countertops and keep just enough furniture to show a room's purpose, but not so much that it feels crowded. You got to think boutique hotel, you know, that calm, neutral, and inviting space. When buyers can breathe, they can picture their life there. And that's when the offers starts rolling in. All right, the second thing, deep clean. Let's talk about the silent deal killers. Dirt and neglect. Dusty baseboards, grimy grout, sticky light switches. They don't just look bad. They tell buyers, this is what I can see. Well, imagine what's hiding behind the walls. A dirty house, it doesn't say lived in. It screams expensive repairs. And that perception, well, it can cost you thousands. The fix, you want a deep clean like your pickiest relatives, they're coming to stay for a month. Scrub the windows until they sparkle, polish fixtures, clean inside the oven and fridge, because buyers, they absolutely look. A spotless home, it whispers, this place has been loved. It builds trust and confidence, 2 emotions that make people pay more. All right, let's address the elephant in the room. Shag carpet and Harvest Gold stoves, they aren't retro. There are red flags because when buyers see a time warp, they don't just think old. Their brain starts to do this calculation and it's exaggerating the cost to update this. In their head, it's about $5,000 plus months of hassle. You don't need a complete remodel, you just need signals of modern care. So swap those boob lights for simple LEDs. Replace brass hardware with matte black or brushed nickel. You know, freshen the walls with neutral paint and so forth. Just those small updates. It says move-in ready, which is realtor speak for buyers will pay more. All right, curb appeal. Step outside because your yard is the book cover. If the cover is bad, nobody's gonna open it. Overgrown weeds, faded trim, cracked walkway, they all say project, not home. And all buyers start seeing is $sign before they even touch the doorknob. And I've been out touring with buyers who didn't even go inside, all because the curb appeal was just a turn off for them. They took one look and they said, let's just skip this one. That's how powerful a first impression is. Luckily, curb appeal, it's an easy fix. You can mow the edge and mulch like your sale depends on it, because it does. Trim bushes, power wash everything, and paint the front door a welcoming color. Deep navy, charcoal, maybe even a bold red. You want to add clean house numbers and a couple pots of flowers by the entry. A well-kept exterior says, if it looks this good out here, wait till you see the inside. All right, let's talk about what catches buyers' attention before they even notice the decor. The smell. One whiff of pet odor, smoke, or last night's dinner, and they're out the door. The smell is emotional. It sticks to memory. You don't want your listing to be associated with that house that smelled like a wet towel. You don't want that, because I've seen that, done that. Don't mass eliminate. You want to clean the carpets, the drapes and upholstery, wash the pet areas, use odor blocking primer if needed, and skip the heavy air fresheners because they just scream cover up. Go for natural smells. So before showing, you can can simmer citrus peel or cinnamon stick in water. You want fresh and neutral, like a blank scent canvas. Because clean air, it tells buyers that this home has been well maintained. If these tips are saving you from a price drop, hit that like button and subscribe, because I post weekly videos packed with value like this one. Here's a few more before we wrap up. Popcorn ceilings, scrape them, because nobody wants that vintage texture overhead. It is, at least in 2025, I know that to be a turnoff for many buyers. Missing outlet covers, I mean, that's a $2 fix that can instantly look cleaner. Toilet lids, close them before photos or showings, please. Nobody's dream home starts there. These are tiny tweaks with big payoffs. Details, it signals care, and care sells. All right, so buyers, they decide with their eyes, their nose, and their gut. So your job as a seller, you want to remove every distraction that makes them hesitate. Declutter, deep clean, modernize, boost the curb appeal, eliminate orders. Do these 5 things and you'll turn maybe later into let's write an offer now. They fall in love with how a house makes them feel. All right, that's a wrap. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.